All right, Botrix, where you at? Where you at, buddy? I gotta find something to put on screen while I wait. I'm setting some shit. I'm setting some shit up. If you guys happen to see this, I am in fact setting things up.
At Hawthorne, the historian says, "I clicked so fast."
There we fucking go. I'm glad that works. Okay, cool. Shit. What do I want to do now?
Manukars 1EB says, "Tittai twisters."
Tittai twisters. That's awesome. Okay, cool. I didn't think there was no way for me to test this without making this a public stream. It was really fucking weird, but it works. It works. You guys can hear it too, right?
At Hawthorne, the historian says, "What is this noisy TTS?"
I'm only gonna have it on for when I play VR games. So yeah, I was thinking tonight I might do a VR stream, and I'm like, oh shit, it might be a shit show if I don't have TTS. So I'm like, I sure hope my old TTS setup works, and then it does. So that's cool. Shit, should I turn this one into a VR stream? I mean, I was gonna stream VR anyways. Should I turn this one into a VR stream, or should I just like start a new stream entirely? I don't know.
At Hawthorne, the historian says, "You may need to tone the volume down for it if ever."
Oh yeah, that's true. Like if it gets like spammy. Shit, as long as I can hear it. I mean, that's like the whole point of it, because I'm not gonna be able to look at my screen. Shit, where's the fucking, I'm glad my screen's not being shown right now. Here, let's turn volume to 50. Let's try that. It's weird that there's no like test button or anything like that on Votrix. You'd think there would be you'd think there would be something like that. Okay, we might as well test like the whole VR setup. Now that it works, thank goodness, we might as well test it. Shit, I hope my webcam is gonna work.
At Look Manukars 1EB says, "YouTube needs to make a thing
where you have unlimited characters in chat."
At Hawthorne, the historian says, "I could imagine so."
I can imagine so, because if there's tons of lads chatting, you can talk over you. Absolutely. I have experienced it in the past, where like that last like Five Nights at Freddy's stream, like a long time ago. It is patient enough to like wait for chat to catch up, which is nice, but yeah, that was a problem with FNAF, where it was like I couldn't talk because like I was responding to everything, and then it just kept like going and going and going. So I don't know. We'll try it, but yeah. Okay, like weird improvised VR stream. I mean, I was gonna stream tonight anyways. I was either thinking of GTA or I don't know, something. Is there a slow mode? Actually, let's see. I wonder if there is. Let me look in the thing.
At Hawthorne, the historian
Botrix is like extremely shit, so I can put a, you know what? Maybe I'll put a cooldown on it. The question is how long? Maybe like 30 seconds? Maybe I'll hear like every message or so, every few messages or so. Oh fuck, I opened paint.net. Let's open up Meta. My internet's like slightly crapping out, I guess. Actually, hold on. Angel Matos, thank you so much for subscribing, dude. Though you're probably not seeing the stream. Thank you, dude. Let's see. The videos are actually performing. I'm so happy to see that. Thank Christ. I was kind of honestly, the problem was the pack. It was nice to just like.
At Hawthorne, the historian says, "How were you?
How are you, man? How's the stringy, doughy Asian meal from the wet weather? It's pretty good. I'll be back in a bit. You started streaming as I was going to take a shower. Oh,
I was going to take a shower.
I like how I swear it's like a joke or a troll of some sort, where Luke is like, I'm about to take a shower. He has to be like trolling me. Oh fuck. Let's see. Let's get this VR thing going.
Says, "Why go if you can shower?"
Maybe I should switch my pants, because like these, I'm wearing. Why go if you can shower here? Exactly, dude. Maybe I should switch my pants while the webcam's off, because honestly, I put on pants that I used to not be able to fit anymore. I've been losing weight, but it's still kind of like I don't It's still kind of like sliding down. So maybe I'll wait a little longer. I want to do stuff in the shower.
I want to do stuff in the shower.
Jesus Christ, dude. Not the stuff you like, you might think, but like watch a movie. I've never watched a movie in the shower.
Says, nice man.
Nice man, get that weight down. Yeah, it's working. It's working out pretty well. I'm actually extremely happy about it. Movie. Oh right. that didn't even like immediately register what the fuck you were talking about.
At Hawthorne the Historian says,
yeah, after making that video, I just want to play like more VR. Honestly, it's not a bad idea.
Even a gorgeous
nothing wrong with being chubby though. All that matters is the inside. Believe me, even a gorgeous person can look ugly if they're a terrible person. Well, it's more well, there's a multitude of reasons for it. Hold on, let me try to be like productive while I explain this shit. Move some stuff around. I recently went through and like sold a handful of my gamer shit just because like it was taking up space and like I mean that's a main reason. It was taking up space, and also it's not like I could ever need less money, you know what I mean? So I sold some of my gamer shit. But naturally that meant I had to dig through my closet and like fucking move a bunch of shit around, and I haven't like I haven't put everything back. Not yet anyways. Maybe I should change this to VR test stream, because we're also going to be testing the mic on the Quest, and hopefully it sounds fine. Hopefully it sounds all right. But no, there's like a multitude of reasons for why I'm trying to lose weight. The most important one, honestly, is like at some point in my life, I do plan on like having children and shit like that, and it's like it just makes sense to be in like the right body and mind. Like fuck, how do I even like articulate this? Essentially, I want to be in as best a state as I can to be a responsible adult, like at some point in time. So I've kind of been you know, the whole like unemployment, I guess, saga you could call it, has given me like a lot of time to think. And it's like, man, I kind of need to act more my age, you know what I mean? Not as in like I need to be less edgy or anything like that, but more so where it's like you know, I could be spending my time doing like more productive stuff. Not that the stream isn't, but having a good image for the children to look up to. I mean, it's that, and also I just I mean, that's one, but it's also the fact that like I don't know, looking back, it's like I had so many opportunities and just so many resources, and I took them for granted. And like there were various other things that I just like flat out ignored, and I'm already like suffering the consequences for it. One of them was my health. For the longest time, you know, I had no idea the benefits of just living a healthier life. As funny as that is to say, I assume, oh, okay, well, I'm not like dying, so therefore like me eating fast food every day is fine. But like you don't really realize how like crazy insane. I guess the best way to sum all of it up is like I had no idea how much I was holding myself back. You know what I mean? And I think that was part of why it was taking me up to like 4 years to really get like the YouTube to, you know, do anything. Because I remember, man, for like the longest time, this is basically like a chatting stream. Let me wrap this conversation up and then get the shit of it. Where actually maybe I could do it while I'm getting the VR set up. I mean, really, it's just like I'm tired of holding myself back. You know, at the end of the day, And it's not like YouTube's holding me back. It's more the other way around. It's like I'm holding myself back from being self-employed. YouTube is one of those avenues, but also at some point, like me and my dad are starting a business. Once I get around to that, and then it's all in the interest of being self-sufficient at the end of the day, because I've been burned by so many different companies, so many different jobs that I thought were going to pan out. My last job, I thought I was going to be there forever. The one where they let me go, it's like I thought I was going to be doing that for a long time, and I was content with that too. I was like, if the YouTube never pans out, I'm okay with working sales. I don't mind sales whatsoever. And then they kind of just like fucked me overnight by letting me go. And then the company was really, really petty about it too. I'm not going to go into the full drama, but because at the end of the day, I do have to let this go at some point. While I have reason to be like upset or like bitter about it, at the same time, it's like I got to move on. So, they were extremely petty about it. They fought me every step of the way when I tried to collect unemployment, the unemployment that I was paying for through my taxes, it sucks I couldn't get that. Sucks I had to pay for it and yet could use it. Anyways, but also like PTO, they were doing some extremely shady shit. Like when I was part of the company, they treated me like I was one of their own, but like the second I understand you. Everyone just needs to do what they wish to be done. Just know you don't have to act adult or be something you're not. All that matters is you enjoy life. That's a good reminder. So I'm glad you mentioned that, honestly, because like it's I guess that is the right mentality to have. It's like I don't necessarily need to be adult, but I do want to be like, I don't want to like, be in this situation forever. And I think that's the end result. And by this situation, it's not like it's necessarily bad, but it's also like, I want to live a life where, I'm free to do whatever I want. And I tried to do it. I guess here's the best way to do it. Best way to put it. I tried to live life the way I was kind of supposed to. You get in with a company early, you devote yourself, you work your ass off for them, and then they just kind of throw you aside. And that's happened to me like 3 different times now. And each time it's happened, it's become more and more evident that I need to be in charge of my own destiny. I need to be in charge of my own money. So that's why I've been leaning kind of hard, especially very, very recently with like the fucking like mass uploads, like basically a new video like every few days. It is in the interest of like, what, I'm sick of applying for jobs that aren't going to get back to me unless they have no intention of pay me. That was like another frustrating thing about it too. It's like everybody's like, oh, well, just look for another job. And I'm like, I tried that before. I tried that again when I got let go. And it's like, none of these guys actually want to hire you. You know what I mean? They don't want to hire you unless it's commission, which like I'm not opposed to, but I'm not in a situation where like I feel like I want to take that gamble. And then, especially since like the 2 other commission based like sales jobs that I've had, when you want things done right, one has to do it themselves. Exactly. If it can be hard carved by your hands, in my eyes, you can do it. That's the lesson that sales taught me at the end of the day. I am actually in control of my destiny. And I think that's the big difference between me and the not like the me of the past was like a horrible thing, but also like me of the past was like, oh, well, I'll just talk about video games all day and like make money doing that. And it's like, well, not necessarily. You have to get your hands dirty a little bit too. But yeah, let me try to get this fucking VR shit going. It's difficult to like articulate in a live stream, but at the end of the day, it really is just like, hey, I gotta, again, like you said, it's not necessarily. Part of me is like, oh, I should act more my age, but another part of me is like, it's less about acting my age and more like being the version of me that I know I can be. You know what I mean? Where it's like, I know I can be healthy, I know I can be smart, I know I can be self-sustainable, and as a result, I know that I can live my life on my terms. And I guess that's the best way to put it, honestly. That's like the big TLDR. It's like I'm starting to live my life on my terms instead of living for, not that I was living for other people, but it was like I was living for what up? How you doing, Squiggly? But it was very much so, like I was living to benefit capitalism in a weird way, because I was constantly buying like fast food and eating it, and then like gaining a bunch of weight, constantly buying video games, constantly doing like all sorts of shit, basically like churning out video. Dude, absolutely. I've basically been making one, releasing one every few days, and you know what, I can keep it going. Like I don't feel like I'm stressing myself out too much with it. It's like the perfect format. I think ever since I went from like the highly scripted, like premeditated videos to all the super short
Hawthorne, the historian says, to me,
like live recordings that I just like cut down and do minor edits on. I think it helped the benefit. I think it helped like not necessarily the quality of the video, but also like the energy of the energy of the videos more so. And then but also editing. My least favorite part of creating content is ironically editing, which is funny because it's what I'm really good at. And really like your stellar blade ranking. I think that video I might re-upload at a later date, because I fucking love that video. I think I just fucked up with that first title and thumbnail, and like by the time I changed it to like objectively like better packaging, I think YouTube stopped testing it. So I'm thinking I'm just gonna like sit on it for a little while and just re-upload it with the new packaging I made for it, because the new thumbnail I made for it is way better. Like it's objectively like funnier. I love the picture of me holding the Bible in like my hand, like it's a fucking like like it's a fucking movie poster. That shit like cracked me up so much. To me, I do have big dreams, but I do have safe backup plan of living a quiet life. Call me Yoshikage, but to me, I'm gonna die one day, so I'm just doing whatever river of life flows me to. I'm a big believer of, hey, just do whatever you want to do at the end of the day. I think people don't realize how much of their destiny they can control, and it's because a handful of people were like me. A good number of the people were like me, where it's like they never worked sales, or they never worked a job where it's like you had to believe in yourself to make something happen. But like once you have that experience where it's like I really need to make this happen, you know, that's kind of the catalyst for all of this, honestly. Just the whole all the changes I've been making in my life. I'm still going to talk about video games and stuff, but one thing I've been kind of leaning towards is like just sprinkling in some health advice, or just some like self-defense information, like stuff that I think would be genuinely helpful for people to know. You know, there's a whole joke and meme of like, oh, gamers aren't like prepared for anything, gamers aren't responsible, and it's like, well, what if I could make like compelling gaming content, and then just like every now and then like sprinkle in some like fitness advice that's really helped me, you know, instead of becoming like, not that Joe Rogan's bad, but instead of becoming Joe Rogan where it's my entire identity, it's like, well, why don't I just like ease people into it, and then their intentions and their own motivations can take them as far as they want to go, you know what I mean, and to making changes and differences in their lives that will end up being for the positive, you know what I mean. But yeah, definitely still got to talk about video games. I don't know what's going on with my internet. It seems like it's being extremely shit right now, but oh well. You need to change the video resolution. Yeah, let me get back into this shit. I got like off task explaining that stuff, but for good reason. How you doing, Jimbo? How you doing, Penny?
Jimbo1637 says, "Hola."
I'm gonna kick up some VR soon. I was really happy with the video. I edited that video last night, and then like I made a new thumbnail for it in case this one wouldn't work.
Hawthorne, the historian, says,
people are overly negative these days, honestly. That's one of the big things I want to touch on in my videos, actually. I don't really like negativity. I used to be so obsessed and absorbed with it, but there comes a certain point where like, and I think that just happens to everybody when they get older. There comes a certain point where it's like, you know, I'm just so sick of being mad all the time, and it's like, why don't I just try being happy? And everybody's like, oh, you can't just be happy, but it's like once you've like made it happen once, you know that you can do it. And that was like another thing that sales taught me, where it's like, you know, it's not necessarily brute forcing yourself into being happier. It's more about like looking at the positive ways, because when there's so much negativity being thrown your way, if you can zero in and tunnel vision on the positive stuff and really only focus on the negative things you can control. Actually, that's the best way to put it. I was gonna say you should do a VR. You should do VR because of your last vid. Exactly, that's what I was gonna do. Tonight, actually, I was gonna do a VR stream. Once I get this shit set up. I could just be happy while sober and while drunk, making my way through John Woo's Stranglehold. Fun game, pretty hard sometimes. I've actually never heard of that game. But at the end of the day, I want to be a living, as ironic and as like what's the best way to put it? As like ironic and edgy as my sense of humor is, and like dark and fucked up as my sense of humor is, I do like the fact that for the most part, like I'm a very positive guy, and that's the kind of energy I want to put off into the world and like show people where it's like, I had some crazy fucking negative shit happen to me too. But at the end of the day, if you focus on what you can control and you maximize your efforts on all the positive things that you can change instead of putting all your energy into all the negative things that you can't, that alone will make life so much more like livable. You know what I mean? That'll make life so much better. I'm gonna get some water real fast. Hold on. Oh fuck. My hair got cut in the fucking VR headset. I'll be right back.
At Squidgelly Dickily says, tonight? What time would that be? Time zones and stuff. At Hawthorne the historian says, it's about appreciating the small things, and I don't want to sound like the guy that says let people enjoy things. I mean in a sense that being negative all the time does not help a person anytime.
Tonight, what time would that be? Time zones and stuff. Oh, I was thinking of doing it right now, actually. I was just testing TTS, and then like right afterwards I was going to start a separate stream, but I might just merge it into this one, honestly. It's about appreciating the small things. I don't want to sound like the guy that says let people enjoy things. I mean, in a sense that being negative all the time does not help a person anytime. Exactly. It's all, I mean, it's like I said, if you divert all your energy into the things that you can change, the things that you can't, it's not that they have no impact on you.
At Squidgelly Dickily
but
says,
like,
oh great. At
Jimba1637 it's not that they have the, I don't know why that water made me burp. It's not that they have no impact on you, but it's like, it's easier to get that stranglehold off of you, where it's like, this bad thing may be happening to me. And I've had a lot of bad things happening to me lately, but the turning the things that I can turn into positive things has also been a way to like keep me sane through all of this. But yeah, at the end of the day, it's more like, I'm just sick of holding myself back. I didn't even realize I was for a large portion of my life. And now that I'm actually like looking back, I say this as if like I'm 60, but I'm not. I'm only 26. Which I'm really glad I'm having that moment now instead of way later. But it's just kind of like looking back, it's like I could do much better for myself, and it's not like, oh, I'm comparing myself to everyone else and they're doing much better. It's more like I know what I'm capable of, and I should be in a much better place than this. And the only reason I'm not is due to effort and just honestly just better decision making at the end of the day. So I've been trying to make good ones. I kind of just given up going to submit to chilling and to partying now. Yeah, I mean, when you're younger, like when you're in your teenage years, you're kind of limited on how much of that you can improve. Really, all you have going for you is your health. Maybe a job, but like you're going to be working like bottom of the barrel, like jobs that nobody wants to work. You know what I mean? But things will get better, and that, at the end of the day, things will get better, and they'll get better soon. you know, if you really capitalize on it. Let me fucking get meta open, and then let me fucking get meta open. And then hopefully I can get my my webcam. I feel like a boomer every time I boot up my Quest 2 and like I go into like the Meta Horizon UI, and I'm using like my finger and like pinching the air like a dumbass trying to like navigate this thing without my controllers. I'm gonna grab my controllers, I guess. Hold on.
Historian says, human life truly is insane.
Human life truly is insane. If an alien came to Earth and lived human life, they think it's hell. I'm surprised humanity is dealing with the things that's considered abnormal to those not used to it. A lot of the time, human life is only as horrible as it is because of the leadership that we appointed. In all honesty, I'm a big believer that, you know, the presidents that we've had here in the U.S. for the last 100 years have had like no interest in making things better for the people living here. You know, a lot of people are like, oh, Reagan's really good, Kennedy's really good. And it's like, yeah, but those guys, you know, stood to gain in those situations. I think the last like actual quality president we had was Eisenhower, pretty much. You know, after World War II, like everything went to shit, exactly as Eisenhower predicted. Ironically enough, but well, not ironically, but Teddy Roosevelt did a good job. Well, it depends. Well, Teddy Roosevelt was before like Eisenhower. I get them mixed up all the time. I get Franklin D. Roosevelt and Teddy Roosevelt mixed up all the time. I actually had a World War II like member stream, and they mentioned Roosevelt, but in the game they were talking about Franklin D. Roosevelt, not Teddy Roosevelt. So I said my favorite Roosevelt line was walk with a big what was it again? It was like talk quietly and carry a big stick, something like that. But like that's the wrong Roosevelt. It was awesome. Fuck, where are my control? Oh, here they are. Where are my controllers? But you know, even in your teenage years, if I can say this, even in your teenage years, there are ways that you can drastically improve your situation. Get social. One of the things I really liked that I did in high school, all my friends are like, oh, I fucking hate high school. High school was the worst time of my life. And it's like, understandably so, because a lot of people get bullied, but also this is just my hunch, but like I speculate a lot of the people who despise high school also never tried to find their like niche or their clique, I guess you could call it.
At Jimba 1637 says,
I couldn't get social because COVID-19 locked down. Yeah, you're kind of fucked in that department. You know, my younger brother got fucked by that too, because he was trying to go to college during that shit. I tried to, but that's a long story that I'll have to explain some other day. I've actually tried to go to college twice. The second time, I tried to get my tuition for law school reimbursed with the company I was working for, and then they let me go right before I qualified for that tuition reimbursement. So I'm not saying things, but it is mighty interesting that how the timing of that worked out. You know, really interesting that they can promise that, and then conveniently you don't work for that company anymore. You know, like 1 week before you would have qualified. I was actually talking to a girl, and COVID happened, and that ship sailed. Yeah, exactly. It's one of those things where it's like, you know, bad things that happen to other people can be good opportunities for others as well. In a weird way, that's something I think is really beautiful about life. It's like it doesn't play out the same for anybody. Therefore, you know, I try to enjoy the way it plays out for me, because it's entirely unique. I don't know. I'm choosing a really bad way to articulate this, I guess. But also I'm live, so and I wasn't planning on streaming like just yet. I was just gonna test TTS, but now that I know it works, let me try to get this shit. Let me try to get the shit running so people aren't looking at a fucking black screen. I feel bad for the VOD viewers because they're gonna, oh, is he gonna fucking play anything?
At Hawthorne the Historian says, the only thing I remember in my entire school years was the food party and my kendo lessons I enjoyed. Can't remember crap what I learned other than the mitochondria being the powerhouse of the cell.
Yeah, I've been playing some Bone Lab lately, especially for that video. I played it like a little bit before that video, And I was like, oh, you know what? I'm aiming kind of like they do in RE9. So I did more research on it, and it turns out I was point shooting this entire time. And I'm like, you know what? That's kind of a cool thing I could make a video about. And I did it in like a matter of hours. Honestly, I really like that. I like when videos take only a few hours to make instead of like instead of like a week. Because the week long videos, they're good, but they're not that much better enough to the point where I feel like it's worth it to invest that amount of time, especially when they bomb. Granted, they only bomb because the packaging sucked at the end of the day. If I just had better titles and thumbnails, then like that would help a lot. But you know, again, that's something I'm trying to like address and improve right now. But hold on. Where's my Steam VR? The only thing I remember in my entire school years was the food party and my kendo lessons I enjoyed. Can't remember crap what I learned other than the mitochondria being a powerhouse of the cell. That's exactly my high school experience, actually, because when I was in not even high school, but even like middle school too. So when I was in middle school, I did a whole bunch of sports. And then when I was in high school, I did like, I guess you could call it like intellectual stuff, you know, if you really want to be a fucking fart smeller. But fart smeller
says, I miss the emo chick.
I miss the emo chick. That sucks. But my ex-girlfriend was like fuck, I haven't been on the dating market for like 4 months, not 4 months, like 4 years. But the last relationship I was in, it was a goth girl, and I miss her too. It really fucking sucks, but also like you got to move on at some point, you know. Anyways, what was I saying? So the parts that I remember the most about school was actually the extracurriculars. In particular, I did speech and debate. I did theater. I also did ROTC.
37 says, not an ex, just a friend who was a cutter. Hope she got better.
Hope she got better. Yeah, hopefully. Fucking. Why is this not? Damn. Hold on. There's the VR view. That's what you guys are seeing. If I just, why is it not in like the Steam mode? That's what I'm confused about. Oh, headset not detect. Why? What? Shit.
This was working. Historian says,
yesterday.
Don't want to
so
sound controversial, but what happened to the days when girls used to actually like guys not for height or money? At least in the Western countries.
Dude, I 100% agree. I think a lot of it is TikTok. At the end of the day, it's because like girls, and I feel so bad for them. It's because like girls go on TikTok and then like, well, I don't know if I feel bad or if it seems like, if it feels like pathetic, but like I don't want to be mean, but like I don't know what it is with women. If you just talk loud and confidently and quickly, for whatever reason, they decide they want to listen to you. And they just take like everything you say to heart. I'm not sure why.
At Jimba1637 says, friends GF loves friend and he's a broke cripple.
Oh, fuck. Loves friend, he's a broke cripple. That's an interesting way to phrase that. Hold on. I gotta update the vignette. I actually made a lighter vignette because I noticed when I was making some of those videos, I'm like, the right side of the screen is darker than the right side, and that's kind of like obnoxious. So I made a lighter vignette to address that issue. There we go. Why is it not? Oh, reset headset maybe. Okay, please detect my headset. I don't know why you're not. Watch me have to restart my computer.
At Squidgelly Dickily says, oh yet I saw you played Helldivers 2 recently.
I've actually been playing it like a tiny bit, and it's
back in the day, these rock girls that had posters all over the walls. Didn't hate any men at all, and we're in general more positive.
Generally more pot. Well,
At
you know,
Jimmy
I'd be a
1637
hypocrite for
says,
saying,
"Bruh
oh,
got no
women
money,
shouldn't hate
broke,
men
and bruh
in
is
before like
physically fucked up,
I inevitably say
crippled."
something that like that makes it sound like I hate women. But like fucking, I don't know, man. It's like I said, it's TikTok. That's the main fucking problem. Chicks go on TikTok and look, and any human being, like I said, that talks like fast and loud, for whatever reason, they trust they trust them with like 100% of their being, and it's like it doesn't make any fucking sense. If your man gets down on his knee and proposes to you, that means he's gay. That's a red flag. You know what I mean? Like stupid shit like that. I might have to restart my PC, so I might have to start a separate stream. Shit. Yeah, hold on. Let me make that happen. Be right back, guys.
At
Where's my mouse? Here it
Squidgelly
is.
says, HD2 is fun, but